Hello and welcome everyone to the League of Europe round 7, apologies, here at the Nürburgring. We are here with 3 rounds remaining of the championship. Apologies for the slight delay as we're getting a nice image of one of my cars. But we're about to start here the GT3 season. Jumping all my words up. About to start the third to last round of the GT3 season. We're slightly late tonight, but we're going to get going straight away. I'll just let them know I'm ready to go, and we can begin. Let's have a look at the practice times so far. Sir Ibo topping the sheets, although I don't think I can actually see anyone's lap time that they've set. So I'm just going to connect my keyboard in time for the race start, so I have access to all the additional functions. So we've got QVR Verstappen starting on pole position, him being last in the championship out of the current drivers. QVR Campbell, Palmer, Chise and the drivers behind will be the ones to watch. Bit of an odd starting procedure here. It won't let me change the camera view, but we'll just see the lights there on the right hand side. They go green and away we go. Taiwan gets a pretty good start. QVR Verstappen really bogging down, going from pole all the way down to potentially P4 before turn 1 into hell corner now. The left hander going towards the uphill section. Sir Ibo spinning. And there's a bit of madness there, but Sir Ibo spins, and he's already down to last after turn 1. Tanaba leads ahead of Cloudy Cloud, James Head, Chise in 4th, Verstappen 5th. Ling 6th, QVR Campbell 7th, Palmer 8th, all the way down in last for Palmer. Of course, he did start last, but he's got the poorest start out of... as Campbell runs wide. Campbell runs wide and hits the wall up into the mountain section. That is not good for him. Luckily, he hasn't got damage. Has anyone else got damage? No damage for the rest of the field either. I need to exit quickly and rejoin. But Campbell, poor start for him there. He got away nicely. He got ahead of Ling and stayed ahead of Palmer. But the driver with the best start by far is Chise, who of course started third to last. He started all the way down in 7th, and he's already up into 2nd, right on the tail of Ton Albanak in 1st. James Head going up the inside of Cloudy Cloud in this Jaguar, through Skyline, going down into the S section. They're going to go too wide. This is going to end badly. You've got to feel, but James Head gets his nose ahead. Cloudy Cloud following behind. QVR Verstappen in 5th, just ahead of Ling, who's ahead of Palmer, who's ahead of Campbell. But they all make it through relatively cleanly. So Ibo all the way down in 9th position after that spin at the start. But Ty Albanak has got a great exit now onto the Conrod Straight, and he is pulling out a gap with the power of that Aston Martin. But he's also got damage. I didn't realise Ty Albanak has got damage. If you look in the bottom left, he's got suspension and aero damage, but he's still pulling away from Chise. So the damage obviously not affecting him too badly. Chise in 2nd ahead of James Head 3rd, Cloudy Cloud 4th, Verstappen 5th. Who's right on the tail of XL. Ling is going to go for a move into the chase. He wasn't going to, but then he darts left very late. But he doesn't make that move stick. Ling just behind them, Campbell behind him. Campbell's got past Palmer at some point, and that must have been to the chase. So we will take a look at that. As Ling pulls into pit lane, he must have damage. Oh, maybe there was contact between these two. No. Oh, Palmer lost it on the exit. So I don't know what happened to Ling. That must have been nearer the beginning, but now Palmer is right on the back of Campbell, who's right on the back of Verstappen, who's right on the back of Cloudy Cloud. Let's watch from Palmer's perspective as he goes for a move on Campbell up the 2nd straight of the track. If you look ahead, Verstappen looks to be going up the inside of Cloudy Cloud, but he does not make the move, and Campbell also retains his position ahead of Palmer. But Palmer's going to get a great run up the hill now. He's switching to the inside, he's going to have the best line into the left-hander, the double left-hander here of Quarry, and he makes that move stick. But then Campbell's coming back at him as well. This is a great battle we have between the title rivals. Chise, currently third in the championship, just behind Campbell, is pulling away in 2nd. So he's got the most points out of the championship rivals tonight. But what a battle we've got on here. Palmer just ahead of his championship rival from last season, Campbell. And that's QVR Verstappen and Cloudy Cloud going side by side, and Verstappen gets ahead. What a move by Verstappen there. We'll have to get that on a replay. Excellent move by Verstappen into the S section, as I know. Hopefully I haven't missed that. Hopefully I haven't missed that. Please don't be I've missed that. Yes, what a move this would have been. Getting ahead into the S's, retaining that position. Claudio Cloud had no answer for him, and that is Verstappen up into P4 overall. His current best finish, I believe, I don't think it's fourth. I'm not sure his current best finish of the season. Palmer has got ahead of Campbell as well, but Campbell's looking up round the outside through the chase, up towards down the Conwell Straight, sorry, up towards the chase, and he's going to dive up the inside late on the brakes. And he regains that position ahead. This is a great battle we've going on here from P4 and below. The rest of the cars in on their own pretty much. Ty Albanak still pulled away from Chais, even with that damage. So it's going pretty well for him at the moment. I can't click on Ling for some reason, but everyone coming into the pits after only 2 or 3 laps. After 2 laps out of what will probably be 29 or so. Obviously the medium tyres not working how the drivers would like. That could explain Chais' great start. No, he must have started on the mediums. But at the moment we've got a 3. Claudio Cloud holding his own against two of the best drivers in this league, Campbell and Palmer, the champion from last season, the championship leader of this season, but they seem to be slightly pulling away from him now as Claudio Cloud settles into 8th place. But that's Palmer who's hit the wall, no damage, but that's going to leave him in the clutches. Claudio Cloud's got a great run coming over the top of the mountain up to Skyline, but Claudio Cloud, I don't think he's going to capitalise on the mistake from Palmer. Of course, this is effectively where Palmer lost the championships last season, where he was leading the championship with only a few races to go, and he spun at the top through Skyline and lost all his positions and ended up, I don't even know if he was in the points in the end, but that was a huge moment for his championship last season, and it looked like something similar may have been about to happen, but Palmer saves it and carries on. Anything else interesting going on track at the moment? The gaps are spread out a bit more than we would have liked, but I'm sure, like last week, they'll begin to close up quickly. Tom Albanak not pitting, which is an interesting strategy considering everyone else pretty much has. So not quite sure what Ton's plans would be, but he's leading this race, got a pretty comfortable gap at the moment. Even with that damage, he's in the first stint he was faster than Chais, so it can't be all bad in that V12 Aston Martin, sorry. V12? It is a V12. But Palmer is looking to regain that momentum that he lost after that brief touch of the wall up the mountain. As we've just caught a spin for Sir Ibo. Not his best night, unfortunately for him. Coming up through into Quarry. Not taking a bad lot. Oh, it just loses the rear on the way in, and then puts the power down too early. Loses the rear on the way out, just for good measure. Going very slowly, getting rid of that penalty. But it is still Ton that leads ahead of Chais, with James Head in third. Verstappen still holding his own fourth, but Ling, you've got to say, is catching him pretty quickly. As Palmer is also right on the back of Campbell. Are we going to see him move up into the chase now? I think he is too far back, yes. But he is right on the back of him as Palmer runs slightly wide on the exit, but he keeps that momentum, but he's going to lose a lot of time going into Murray's Bend. He remains ahead for the time being, but he's going to have a real task defending from the more powerful Mercedes on the I need to learn the name. I know the names of these corners. I do. I promise. Here we go. This is what we want. So it wasn't Corey that I was mentioning earlier, it was the cutting. Bad short, bad commentary there. Bad preparation from me. But we are currently focused on this battle with Palmer following Campbell coming into the cutting, as I've just remembered that it's called, up through Griffin's Mount. This is where the Toyota will probably be stronger, more nimble, lighter. But this track, of course, first sector and third sector are all about power, whereas the middle sector is all about grip. So it's a pretty even track. If you can get your car to handle around here and work around here and be quick around here, you'll get it to do all of those things at any track. This is probably one of the most challenging tracks in the world, and it's one of the most varied. It's got high speed, low speed. It's got pretty much everything you could want in a racetrack, and it's absolutely brilliant. It is definitely one of my favourite tracks in sim and in real life. But we've got XL Ling here on Verstappen. You'd have to say that move looks pretty easy in that much more powerful Jaguar. He's going to have the inside line through the right-hander up towards the chase. And he slots in ahead, but is Verstappen going to make a move into the chase? No, he doesn't. He's not able to make the move. And Campbell under attack from Palmer, and Palmer looks to have got that move done. He's going to have the outside line for the next corner. Is QVR Campbell going to be able to respond? No, he doesn't. He slots in behind his championship rival. That's Verstappen into the pits as well there. Palmer got ahead before the corner even. Campbell did well to even stay alongside, but he has lost that P6 overall to Palmer. So not what he would have wanted. Verstappen has come out just behind his teammate as well. Ton Albanak has come out. He's obviously fixed that damage and he's lost quite a bit of time. 4.6 seconds behind Chais, but hopefully, what I believe he's probably doing is relying on maybe doing less pit stops than the Cymax Motorworks driver, considering he stayed out for quite a lot. He stayed out for a couple of laps longer, so he's hoping that will come into effect in the long run. He's right on the back of James Head now. This is going to be an interesting battle. James, definitely no slouch. One of the quicker guys last season, had a bit of bad luck this season and a few errors that have cost him. But definitely a force to be reckoned with. On paper, probably the quicker driver than Tom, but look at the grip that Tom has coming down through the S's. He is much quicker. He's just caught up pretty much half a second just down the hill. And you have to say he's going to be right on him by the end of the Conrod Straight. We've seen he's had excellent exits out there all day, but James Head seems to match him pretty well there. The Lexus also no slouch in a straight line, but that Aston Martin you'd probably say is the fastest in the current BOP in this series, especially with the fixed setups. Look at the rate he's catching him. It's down to less than 0.3 of a second. James Head defends the inside line. Coming through the right-hander, now up to the chase. As we thought, Ton Albanak is right on the back of James. Oh, it's James, another mistake from him there, and he loses the back end coming out of the chase. He takes the grass on the outside, and that's a relatively easy move for Ton, who capitalises on the mistake from the Lexus driver, and he moves up to P2. Who's that spinning? Who was that spinning? That was Chais. Chais has spun. Huge drama here as Chais coming out of Murray's corner. He's touched the grass on the outside, he's touched the curb, he's hit the wall, he's got engine damage. That is him completely out of the race. You've got to say that is Chais' race, completely skewed at the worst possible position you could get damage and spin. He is spun at the final corner. He's missed the pit entry. He's already down to 5th and he hasn't even pitted yet. Wow, huge moment for our championship contender SMM Chais. A mistake from him solely down to him. He was effectively in the lead of this race and he has completely thrown it away with a mistake at Murray's corner. That is huge. That is hugely disappointing for himself. He'll be kicking himself completely. Campbell is he's gonna try and probably hold up Campbell slightly, which would be really helpful for his teammate Palmer, who seemed to have scampered away slightly. He pulls away. He does the sportsman-like thing and lets Campbell through. But wow, that puts Ton Avernak back in the lead of the race. That is a huge, huge moment for Chise. Wow, that I was not expecting that. I don't think anyone really was. What is it with the Cymax Motorworks and making mistakes from the lead at Bathurst? I guess we'll never know. But wow, that was totally unexpected. I'm just going to get the comments on the stream up. That is, I am completely shocked. That is a huge, huge, huge moment. Let's check the comments on the stream. We've got Carcannon, Sharon, and Neil Palmer. Carcannon, and then Sharon Palmer and Neil Palmer. Commiserations, they're giving their condolences, I guess, to Chise. Really unfortunate moment for him there, but I'm sure he'll take the blame completely himself. He doesn't like to make excuses for himself. He's a proper competitive driver, and he knows when it's his fault. And unfortunately, that incident was. But that does put Ton in the lead of this race. Apologies for the quick pause there, just checking out some things with the stream. James Head, I was just going to apologies for the quick moment of pause there. But we've got Palmer right behind QVR Campbell. He's got a 3.5 tenth gap to his championship rival. He's going to look round the outside. There's not a gap there, but that wasn't a gap for you to go for, Palmer, and he has to back out into Quarry. Palmer on those one-lap pressure tyres. He's also got the fastest lap of the race. Clearly a force to be reckoned with here tonight. But the top three is not one you normally see. There's been some great racing here tonight, and you've got Ton Avernak leading the way, James Head in second, and QVR Verstappen in third. So this could be debut podiums of the season, I believe, for all three of the drivers, which would definitely, well, it's definitely a surprise, but hopefully they can continue it, as we've got a battle for fourth and fifth here with Campbell and Palmer. They're not too far behind the guys ahead, so they could still get into this podium fight. But at the moment, you have to say there's going to be at least one new podium sitter here tonight. But I don't want to jinx it. I'm going to touch wood. I don't want to give a commentator's curse, because I do want some new faces on the podium. I think everyone does. No disrespect to to the Palmer and Campbell, of course. They fully deserve all the podiums they've gotten, but as it is with F1, it's always nice to see some new drivers on the podium. As Palmer takes to the grass to try and get up the inside. And he's looking now at the inside into the chase, but he backs out. Great defending from Campbell there. I'm sure Palmer will be very frustrated with that. As apologies for the multiple breaks I'm having. I've also got something that's come up. Palmer still right on the back of Campbell, who's right on the back of Verstappen. Is Verstappen going to let his teammate through here? He goes defensive, and it looks like he does. He lets his teammate through, but he sticks on the inside of Palmer, who runs wide, and Verstappen stays ahead. So that is a crucial moment for this race. Verstappen letting his, on paper, faster teammate through, and he is obviously faster at this stage in the race. He's got not much healthier, but his tyres are definitely fresher. And this is going to be really key for Campbell now. He needs Verstappen to hold up Palmer as much as he can, and this is the perfect place to do it. It's pretty much impossible to overtake at the top of the mountain, as they are now, as Campbell and Verstappen both touch the wall slightly, coming through Skyline. Palmer's dropped back slightly, and the gap, he's already lost almost 2 seconds to Campbell. He's already lost so much time being stuck behind Verstappen, and that was a really great team effort, a really great team move from Verstappen and Campbell, letting the other through and holding up. Or as there's a half spin for Verstappen, and that's even more helpful for Campbell. That's going to hold him up even more. You have to say that you'd expect Palmer to get through now as he takes to the grass once again. He's going to have the inside line. He's going to get a very, very tiny slipstream, but he's lost quite a bit of momentum by touching that grass. He has to slot in behind again. Is he going to go for a move up into the chase? He's looking up the inside of the right-hander. They go side by side. He's going to look to go round the outside, but he cannot make the move, and Verstappen still stays ahead. Now Ling is right in the back of Palmer as well. Excellent race we've got going on here. Verstappen doing a sterling job of defending as he pulls into the pits as well. So now Campbell has been released. Ton Albanak is in the pits as well. It's going to be interesting to see where he comes out in all of this. But that was very, 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 very interesting what happened there. Verstappen holding up championship leader Palmer, definitely intentionally. Very, very excellent teamwork, you'd have to say there, and that has given Campbell, look, a 3-second buffer. It was less than half a second. It's now 3 seconds as he's going to pit this lap. But excellent work from the QVR drivers there. Palmer is now 3 points. He's lost time as he's defending from Ling. But wow. This race has really turned on its head. This is a sort of a Mugello type Monza F1 race chaos, really. I still can't believe that Chai spun. I know this is he's going to be watching this back and he's going to be a bit wound up. But sorry, Chais, that was a huge mistake, and I hate to say it, but you've probably bottled your first win of the season. I really hate to rub it in your face even more. I'm sure you'll get another opportunity before the end of the season. But Ton Albanak still leads, and James Head isn't too far behind, but James, I believe, still needs to make an additional pit stop. Well, they obviously need to make more pit stops, but I believe James Head is a pit stop behind. As you can see, his tyres are much worse off. I think about 5 or 6 laps. Yeah, quite a few laps older, I believe, than Ton's, but he's in that slipstream, so this is going to help him pull away from Palmer as Campbell has pulled into the pits. Ling has dropped back quite a bit from Palmer, so I'm not Can we catch what happened? Did he go off at the chase? No, he's pitted. He's pitted. Oh, and let me catch that again. He was going to pit. He was meant to pit. And he spun. He spun on the way into the pit lane. Can we get a full replay of that? No, we can't. No, we can't. But you got the gist of what happened there. Ling missing the pit entry, taking way too much speed, and it happens to the best of us. It really does. And now he's all over the place. He's a bit shaken up, but he's lost all that time he'd gained onto Palmer as he was stuck behind Verstappen. As Ibo lets Verstappen through, being lapped 2.5 minutes behind the leader. Not what you want to see. Unfortunate for him today. Bottas Albanak commanding this race. He's led pretty much every lap, aside from a brief period towards the beginning. But you got to say he's done a really good job so far, especially with that damage in the first stint, and he's capitalised on that huge mistake from Chais, who's he's put him almost 40 seconds behind the leader. That mistake from the lead, he's now 40 seconds behind the lead. So really one of the most costly mistakes of the season so far. It's always side max at Bathurst, it seems. Welcome back. Apologies for the short break. I needed a bit of a drink and a breather. Anything going on track at the moment? Closest we have at the moment is Bottas Albanak commanding lead at this stage in the race. There are 33 minutes remaining of this race. Buffer. Internet connection is currently not sufficient to broadcast gameplay. Uh-oh. That could be bad. It's blurry, but we're still there. Just. Apologies if it does cut out at any point. Don't know what's going on with the internet at the moment, so apologies for that. Cloudy Cloud has left the room. Cloudy Cloud. What happened with him? Maybe he just retired. He wasn't happy. Not quite sure why that would have been. But yeah, don't know why he retired there, but Bottas Albanak with a commanding lead over James Head. 12.5 seconds, of course, but he does need to do he's a pit stop behind effectively. Any battles going on at the moment? No. Nothing going on. Tyler comes into the pit, so this could be interesting. James Head maybe gaining some ground with that undercut. But it looks like the Lexus's tyres really struggle here. his tyres definitely, they're not bad, but they're not what they should be on lap 1 of the stint. So is he going to come out? He's going to come out just... This is going to be close. This is going to be really, really close. It's not going to be that close. It's not going to be as close as it looked from the off-board shots. He hasn't really gained that much. It's still going to be about a 2-second gap. Tom Albanak has that power of the V12 Aston Martin to pull away pretty nicely. So not as close as we would have hoped there. Campbell behind them. Palmer 5.5 seconds behind. Interesting, right, the time the next pit stop roll round. Chai seems to have gained quite a bit of time to the leaders. He's probably going to lose that in the pit stops again. Of course, that incident early on really hindering him. Tom Albanak only 1.4 seconds ahead of James. James obviously catching up quite well in the middle sector. Oh, of course, as you can see, Tom Albanak is on the medium tyres, James is on the soft, so James' tyres should still be quicker. QVR Campbell isn't too far behind them. Palmer 5 seconds behind him. Ling 5 seconds behind him. Chai 10 seconds behind him. Verstappen 20 seconds behind him. If you look on lap 13, he's had an incident somewhere. I've got no idea what could have happened. He must have had a spin or damage or something. A 2 minute. He's 30 seconds down on that lap. Wow, that is apologies for not even noticing that, but that is. He must have. Maybe he had an incident with Cloudy Cloud, because he's in that sort of area where Cloudy was. Maybe he had an incident with him. I'm not too sure. Of course, I did miss it. But yeah, he's had a big accident somewhere. James Head slowly reeling in at Tom Albanak, but those medium tyres will sort of come into their own as time goes on. Verstappen has pitted. So I'm just going to take a very quick break. We'll be back very shortly, and I'm sure we'll catch some more action. Just bear with us for a couple of minutes, and I will be back as soon as possible. And we are back. Apologies for that quick break. Doesn't look like we've missed too much going on. Everyone seems rounded about in the same positions as when we left them. Just under 25 minutes remaining of this race. Ton Almanac still in the lead. Palmer in second. James Head third. But I believe James will be a net P2 as he's on his outlap now. Palmer at pit stop behind. To be honest, Campbell isn't too far away from James. He's only a couple of seconds behind, so Campbell maybe in with the shout of a... well, I think he's definitely in the shout for a podium, but maybe in the shout for an improvement, maybe a top 2 finish for him tonight. Any points gained over Palmer are good points for Campbell. As that gap now is less than a second, so Campbell really pushing now, really catching up to James. That Lexus obviously struggling through the technical middle sector, whereas this is where the Toyota will really be thriving. One of the best tracks, to be honest, for the Toyota, as long as you can keep ahead, as long as you can get enough momentum out of the Devil's Elbow. Is it the Devil's Elbow? God, I should know these. This is meant to be one of my favourite tracks. But you get a good exit out of that corner and you stay ahead of the faster cars behind. This is definitely a really, especially the middle sector by far, is one of the best sectors in any track for this Toyota. It just rotates so nicely, especially for a front engine car. As James really squirrely out of the chase. He's just ahead, and he looks like he's pulling into the... He's got damage. When did he must have got it out onto the Conrod straight. Cracking under pressure, it seems, from James, and that's promoted Campbell up into pit. So I could have been right. This could be a P2 overall for Campbell. He's going to come out just behind Ton Almanac. Well, Ton Almanac's going to come out just in front, I should say. Palmer still in the current lead of the race, but he's not in the net lead. That would be Ton Almanac ahead of Campbell, ahead of James Head. And then I think Palmer would slot in behind James. So James still in with a good shout of a podium here. But really potentially costly mistake from there. He's already lost P2 from it, and that he could lose the podium. As we've just witnessed, Ton Almanac on his outlap, he's hit the wall, and he's just ahead of Campbell. Wow, does Campbell really putting the pressure on the current leaders of the race, James and Ton Almanac. James and Ton have both hit the wall in pretty much the same spot, while Campbell has been following them. So Campbell obviously intimidating the drivers ahead of him, and that could be a crucial mistake from Ton Almanac, as he is only a second and a half ahead of Campbell. Of course, he is a pit stop ahead, so it's not all bad, but that could be a really costly mistake from him there. As Palmer is now into the pits, so we're gonna see where he comes out. So Palmer comes out in third, so he's actually come out ahead of James. So that mistake from James Head has dropped him out of a podium position. Huge, more drama once again. And Palmer, from what seemed unlikely, he's on the podium. And as we thought at the beginning, we could get 3 new podium sitters, but at the moment it looks like it's only going to be 1, and that's not even guaranteed because he has damage. Oh, this is not much action going on, but lots of drama, lots of people making very, very costly mistakes. Campbell is now less than a second behind the Aston Martin driver. It's going to be really close by the time we get onto the back straight with that Toyota working so well down the hill. Although he seems to have dropped back slightly, maybe those older tyres costing him the speed he would normally have. And Ty's got a good exit out there, and he's not going to be caught this lap, that's for sure. Barring a big mistake. Less than 20 minutes remaining in this race now. In that beautiful AMR Aston Martin Racing livery. He leads the race course, not made by him himself. That would be someone else's doing. Well, it could be his. It could be his. I'd be wrong. I would be foolish to assume that he didn't make it himself. But if he did make it himself, credit to him. That's a really, really, really nice replica of the real-life version. Campbell only a second behind the net leader, but a pit stop behind. He does have to make an additional pit stop, but well, it is Campbell. You can't write him out of anything. James has dropped back slightly from Palmer as well. Campbell's in second. Verstappen, Chais, big mistakes from them. They each lost about 40 seconds each. Verstappen's actually 40 seconds behind Chais, so he's lost about a minute and a half at least. Look, he didn't even realise he's got engine damage. He's obviously had a big crash somewhere. 0-0 evening for QVR Verstappen here tonight. He's gone from almost a guaranteed podium position to pretty much dead last, except for Sir Ibo, who's 4 minutes behind the leader. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Poor evening for Verstappen and Chais tonight. Ton Albanak is now only 6/10 ahead of Campbell. You got to say Campbell's definitely in with a shout here, especially if Ton Albanak, when he makes his next pit stop, repairs that damage. If he repairs that damage, that's going to throw Campbell right into the mix for the race lead. So we're here for the final 15 minutes of this race. Ton Albanak remains ahead of QVR Campbell, who's his biggest competitor for the win here tonight. He's made potentially his final stop of the race. Maybe he'll have one more. Pardon me. James Head is back up into third place, but he really has cost himself a podium tonight with that mistake while Campbell was piling on the pressure. Chais, it'll be a good recovery if he keeps this fifth, going down to pretty much dead last after that spin from the lead of the race. So I'm sure he'll still be disappointed at the end of it. but it looks like Ling probably will get the jump on him in the final few laps due to pit stop strategy. As we've just caught Ton Albanak heading into the pit lane. Now, this is going to be interesting. Does he repair that damage? He refuels. He's refueling, he's refueling, he's refueling. He is repairing the damage. Off we go. Where is Campbell? Campbell's already gone. Campbell's already gone, but he must be planning another pit stop then. Ton must be heading towards the end. He's only just ahead of Chai. No, yes, he's only just ahead of Chai. Well, 2.7 seconds. He must be planning on going to the end or not refueling on his next pit stop, because QVR Campbell is 6.2 seconds ahead. So as you can see, he's put in way more fuel. Well, he must be going to the end on the fuel, but I don't know if he's planning on staying out for the rest of the race. Now, this is going to be a really interesting finish. Only got 13 minutes remaining. That's about 6 or 7 laps. Definitely going to heat up towards the end of this race. I've got no idea who's going to come out on top after the final pit stop, because they've gone so differently on their strategy. Now we are nearing the end of the race. No. Oh! No! Ton! No! He's got more damage. Another mistake. This is so frustrating. I really expected him to walk away with it tonight, but that is a really, once again, a potentially incredibly costly mistake. And he's lost almost 2 seconds to Campbell. He's got rear, aero and suspension damage. For God's sake. We wanted someone different to win, and it looks less and less likely here tonight. That could promote James back up to a podium position. So I've got my fingers crossed that we're going to get a new podium sitter here tonight. It'll be pretty difficult for us not to, considering James and Ton are currently basically P3 and P4 overall. But Chais could potentially get both of them, but it looks like he's coming to the pits now. But that is a huge mistake and a potentially crucial one from Ton Albanak. Where is James going to come out? That's going to be interesting. He's put in some fuel. He's going to come out just behind Ton. So this could be the battle for the podium. He's just behind Ton Albanak. This could be the battle for the podium now, considering Ton Albanak has made that mistake. He's got damage and he's now fallen pretty far behind Campbell. Can we have a, if anyone's watching, of course we've got 3 people watching, can you just give me a comment saying that the stream is still working? Can you hear it? Or can you still not see it? Because it's very blurry for me. Car Cannon commented, has there been a different winner from a QVR driver or an SMM driver this season? No, it's only been, the only winners have been Palmer and Campbell, I believe. Maybe Ling has won one. Or maybe... No. Yes, it was... Palmer's won 5. Campbell has won 2. No, Palmer's won 4. Campbell's won 2. And Charles has won 1, I believe. Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. Could see the stream now. Apologies for the dodgy internet connection. That's what you get when you live in the middle of nowhere like me. No fibre broadband over here. So this is going to be interesting now. This is the battle for the lead. Is Campbell going to come out, or he should come out ahead of Palmer? How far is Palmer going to be able to challenge for that win, or is Palmer going to be still behind Ton? He's coming out. He's coming out very close. He's coming out ahead of Campbell. Wow, he has turned this race completely on his head. How has Palmer done that? I am shocked. He has come out ahead of Campbell, who still needs to make another pit stop. That is crazy. It looks like Campbell may make that position up as he runs wide of the quarry, so he's not going to make that position, and it looks like Palmer is going to win another race. He's in prime position to win it now. I don't know how he's done it. I've got no idea how he's done that. I am completely lost for words. I've got absolutely no idea how he's managed to get himself into the net bloody lead of the race. And we've got a huge battle going on for third place overall, as Ton Albanak is right under pressure from James Head. It's really spiced up towards the end. The rear end of that Aston Martin is all over the place. You can see riding on board with James with that Aston Martin, obviously with that rear damage and those pretty old tyres. It is not ideal for him at the moment, but I am absolutely shocked. Is that so? Oh, huge mistake from Campbell. And that, he's got a pit again, so that could put him in the clutches of Ton and James. It's all gone crazy. It's all gone absolutely ridiculous towards the end of this race. I've got no idea who's going to make up the final two podium positions. It looks pretty clear to me now. 6 seconds ahead of second. Palmer's going to win. I've got no idea how he's done it. There must have been some kind of mistake from Campbell at some point to drop back lots and lots of time. He's going to pit. Don't go too late. Don't go too late. That was close, but he's made it into the pit lane relatively scar-free. Looks like Ton's actually going to come out ahead. Let's have a look. Ling is coming to the pits as well. James and Ton, are they going to come out ahead of Campbell? He's still refueling. He's coming out of the pit lane now. And he's going to be behind James and Ton. I've got no... He must have made a mistake, surely. Right? I'm absolutely lost for words. I am completely lost for words. At least he should get the fastest lap now, you've got to say, but... Wow. As James has got past Ton, he must have done it on the straight. I've completely missed that as well. But he's pulled alongside him. Don't tell me he's gone around the outside of Quarry. Talking about losing the back end out of Quarry, but James Head getting a really, really nice move done there on Ton Albanak. Really great stuff from him. He's up into second, so this is a bit of a strange podium we've got going on here. But it looks like that Palmer is going to extend his championship lead massively over Campbell, Chise and Ling, who've all not even made it on the podium here tonight. Campbell 4th, Chise 5th and Ling 6th, and that looks like it could be the way it's going to finish here tonight. What a crazy, crazy, crazy race. Wow, I've got absolutely no idea how Palmer has managed to pull that off. He was 3 seconds behind Campbell at one point. Remember when Verstappen was holding him up, he was way out of it. It looked like he had to settle for 4th or 5th, as he nearly loses the back end coming out of the chase. But, wow. I'm going to have to ask him about this after the race, because I've got no idea how he has managed to pull this off. James Head only just had a Ton still. Ton not out of it yet, but that rear damage, you've got to say, those mistakes from Tom have really cost him a win here tonight. This should have been his win, you got to say. But you also got to say that it looks like, well, the gap to Palmer, that Palmer may well have been in for a shout, in with a shout of the win, even without these mistakes from Tom that have cost him so much time. We're heading in to what will be the final 3 laps of the race. But wow, what an end we're having to this race now. You wouldn't have expected this podium at the start. Wow. You wouldn't have expected this podium a few laps in when Palmer was still pretty much last, bar Sir Ibo. Wow. Wow. Now, I'll tell you what is going to be very, very interesting now. Campbell, 3 laps left, including this one. 2.9 seconds behind Ton. Fresh tyres, less fuel, and Ton has damage. And he's catching him rapidly. He's catching James rapidly as well. So this isn't over yet for Campbell. He's not going to get the win, that's for sure. He's 19 seconds behind. But he is in with a huge chance of getting that P2 overall. We're going to ride on board with him for a few laps to see that gap close up. Already down to less than 2 seconds. He's caught up a second and a half in this lap alone at least. Swinging it in through the final corner. Is he going to get the fastest lap of the race? No, he's not. Still 7/10 slower than Palmer's fastest lap. Maybe Palmer's lap with his slipstream or something along those lines. But Campbell already 1.2 seconds behind Ton. I think James may be out of the question, so I think P2 is definitely on the cards. I wouldn't write off I think P3 was on the cards. I definitely wouldn't write off P2, but it's looking unlikely. But it is Palmer and it is it is Campbell and it is Bathurst. So anything can happen in the final 2 laps of the race, which is what we will be on now. Look at the gap now, less than a second. Ton, it looks like he's going to lose this podium with only 2 laps remaining. Absolute heartbreak for him. Led the race for way over half. But crucial mistakes from him down the hill, getting damaged twice, 3 times in the end, as he runs wide. And Campbell's going to look to make a move through the S's. No, he backs out of that. He thinks better of it. He understands that he cannot afford to make a mistake now. He's got to make every point count, with Palmer winning the race at the moment. But he's going to go wide and get a better exit out down the Conrod Straight. He ran a bit too wide there. But he's going to have that slipstream, and he's going to be looking up the inside, or he's going to go to the outside for the right-hander. They're going to go side by side, but now we're going to see that, the Aston Martin, more powerful, but with that aero damage, he's going to have a lot less straight line speed than he would normally have. Campbell leaves a bit of space just in case he was going to make a lunge up the inside, but Campbell has got that position. He's into P3 overall. Now he's got 2.8 seconds to catch James Head just up ahead. That rhymed. 2.8 seconds on overtaking 1 lap. Can he do it? Can he do it? I doubt it. I really doubt it. But it's not impossible. But it looks like Campbell's only a second and a bit quicker than James per lap. He's already caught up 3/10 in the first corner alone. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be close. It's all heated up towards the end. This is the kind of race we wanted when we came to Bathurst, and it's really delivered, as it always does. Who would have thought after that big mistake from Campbell that he would be able to fight his way back up to a potential P2. This is I still can't believe that Palmer's winning this race. I can't believe it. I'm going to have to speak to him and Campbell after the race to see exactly what happened, because I've got no idea, and I've got no idea if anyone else in the comments knows either, but please, if you do, let me know. Campbell's caught up over a second to James. Oh, but he's made a mistake down through the S's. He's going to lose quite a bit of time there. Yeah, he's lost a couple of tenths, losing the back end slightly. He's not going to be able to make that move now unless James makes a huge mistake. Yeah, that's it for Campbell, you'd say. Palmer is coming up to the chase now. He's going to come up to the final 2 corners, and he is going to win this race. He's going to have barely any fuel left. He may even run out before he crosses the line. He's going to come across the line with a healthy lead of 17 seconds. And he is going to win at Bathurst and extend his championship lead massively, as Campbell, Chise and Ling all drop valuable points here this evening. James Head is going to come home in second, only a second and a half or so ahead of P2 in the championship, Campbell. And Chise, you got to say, as he's just overtaken Ton Albanak. He's going up the inside of Ton Albanak at the last corner on the last lap of the race. He's going to get P4. Ling is going to look to make a move as well. Is he going to be able to get past him before the line? Oh, that was close. Less than 0.02 of a second separated Ling and Tom, but Ton Albanak holds on to that P5. Chise, excellent recovery from him up to P4 after that spin from the lead early on. XL Ling almost took that P5 at the end. So close. One of the closest finishes I've seen on GT Sport. Only 0.15 of a second. 15 thousandths. Yeah, 15,000th of a second. 100th and a half. Just over 100th of a second. Wow, that was close. Verstappen, he's still coming through the chase. Unlucky from him tonight. He's got more damage. Obviously not his track. It'll be difficult for him. But yes, not his night tonight. Tonight, the night goes to SMM Palmer. Excellent drive from him. Stunning. I've got no idea how he clinched that win from the jaws of defeat, but that was absolutely amazing. I've got to speak to him after the race about this. Join us for the podium interviews in just a few minutes. Awesome. So we have all the podium sitters in the room with us now. We'll just get the race results up on screen, but we'll talk to Campbell first. What happened? It looked like you'd stolen that victory, and it all fell away.
I don't think the race one was ever really on today. Yeah, it was what went well for me last week went wrong this week. Basically, I realised about with 30 minutes left, Palmer was going to be doing one left stop, and he just had the pace on the fresher tyres every time he came out the pits. So the gap I had was slowly fading away, and then at one point he was ahead and had one less pit stop to make. So I knew the race was gone by around 20 minutes to go, so I just had to focus on trying to get that P2. But James was fast, consistent, got a clean air at the start, and just managed to push on, and it was too difficult to catch him at the end.
Yeah,
a few more laps I could have maybe had a go, but I mean,
yeah,
it's a 1 hour race, so ran out of time.
Yeah, it looked like that mistake coming out of the Devil's Elbow, I think it's called, when you were behind Palmer and you almost touched the grass and you were very close to hitting the wall. That looked like it really could have put you out of that fighting for P2. Without that mistake, it probably could have been a better position for you tonight.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal. There was a few little mistakes, but that one basically topped it off. Touched the grass at the top of the hill, and then grass on the tyres, you're going to lose time all the way down the hill, all the way on the exit,
yeah,
and then on the straight, where the Toyota's not great as it is. So, yeah, lost time, but it was still a fun race. Of course, it's
definitely.
And reverse grid, constantly fighting cars. You don't know what's going on with strategy till then.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Definitely great from a viewer's perspective. And just the last thing that was really interesting was that team tactics with you and Verstappen, him holding Palmer up.
It was, yeah. Of course, at that time we thought we were all on the same pit stop strategy, so I realised it was faster, basically because of just in the race that Merc will fly by quite easily. So Verstappen, we're all in the one party together. Verstappen says, do you want what? So how are we doing this? So he let me through, and I pulled something like 2-3 seconds on that one lap.
Yeah, I think pulled about 3.5 seconds.
But it was nothing in the end.
Yeah. Well, unlucky tonight, but a good recovery after that incident towards the end. We'll move on to James now in P2. Your first podium of the season, I believe. How was that race for you?
Oh, that was entertaining. I was really happy with that result. There was a point, and I'm sure the guys will back me up on this as well, that my dad came in halfway through, blocked my view, and I hit the wall going up the hill.
Jeez.
Which was
So that will explain the damage I saw then.
Yeah, I got the damage because of that, and I was just shouting, "Get out the effing way!" But,
This sounds like a racing driver excuse.
Closing the blinds blinded him.
I think this is why I'm a commentator rather than a racer. To be honest.
I think I'll add this to my book of excuses.
No, but overall, it was a fantastic race. I really enjoyed it. I honestly thought I was on for third most of the way, and then only when Campbell pitted, I realised, oh, I'm getting second. But not too bad.
Yeah, oh, and obviously mistakes from Ton Albanak meant that you had a really great battle towards the end. Of course, he was looking in control of the race for quite a while, but just shows the characteristics of Bathurst. You cannot make a mistake and it will really crush you.
Yeah, the track really unforgiving. I think it is one of my favourite tracks to drive and to commentate on as well. And don't put it away from Ton. He drove a fantastic race. I know he's finished down in fifth and he'll be heartbroken, but he honestly deserves all the credits. I think he got the early advantage, really pulled out the gap. It was, if it wasn't for that damage that he picked up, I wouldn't have been sitting here. It's as simple as that.
Great stuff. So we'll move on to our winner of the race. A pretty much perfect race from you, Palmer. Just how was that for you?
Yeah, I think it was a tricky one.
You don't sound. I've paused you there. You don't sound very happy.
No, I am happy. I mean,
another win. It's another win. It's so hard being me.
I'm only leading by the championship by 50 points.
Oh, it's so tough being me.
But no, I mean, I was sort of working on being quite cautious the first stint. Of course, I didn't want to cause any incidents in that, and I did just give a little heads up to Campbell that, of course, I was going to be braking at different points. And yeah, to be honest, I think after the QVR tactics, Campbell, of course, unleashed Verstappen on me.
Those dirty QVR drivers.
All the same, all of them.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't even going to get a podium. So, I'm kind of.
I got to say, I didn't think you were getting a podium until you came out just ahead of Campbell. That I was complete. You watch on the stream. I was lost for words because I had no idea how you managed to come out ahead of him.
Yeah, my first lap, every single stint, the first lap, I was pretty much in the low 2-minute ones, but then of course as it went on, of course, I think I did like one lap more than I think Campbell and James. I'm not really too sure about James, but I know about Campbell, and I think of course that's what helps me to this win. But that last lap, that sixth lap, I was completely on the edge. I must have lost it going down the mountain about a couple of times, and I did actually get quite caught out. Going onto the softs, I found it really understeery for some reason, because I think I was I got kind of used to sliding about a little bit on the mediums.
Sure.
But yeah, I guess I'm happy to get this win. Happy to extend my championship lead again.
Yeah, it's so tough being you.
You guess.
Right. Well, it's been an entertaining one here tonight. I'm going to leave you, and we're heading off towards the penultimate round of the season next week. What track is it, Campbell?
Let me check the calendar quickly. I should be prepared for this.
You should know. It's your bloody calendar. To be fair, I should know as well. I helped read it out in the podcast.
Hold on, I've lost rules and format. That's it. Next week we go to Brands Hatch GP circuit.
Awesome.
Yes.
So we'll see you all at Brands Hatch. Thank you for watching. This has been the League of Europe GT3 season. We'll see you next week for the penultimate round of the season at Brands Hatch.